Eastleigh Dreamers, I'm very excited to announce that today we will be learning English with a pop icon, an absolute British legend, Sir Paul McCartney.
Beep, 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 yeah! Beep, 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 yeah!
Alright, are you ready? Let's do this. Sir Paul McCartney is most famous for being one part of the Beatles, possibly the greatest band of all time. The Beatles were from Liverpool, which is a city in the northwest of England. Now, Liverpool has a very distinct accent. It's called a Scouse accent. Now, it's called Scouse after a traditional local dish, and as an accent it's definitely a reflection of the city of Liverpool, because Liverpool is a port city, and so it had lots of immigration. It had a big Irish immigration, Welsh immigration, and sailors coming in and out of its port from all around Europe. So it really was a melting pot for language, and that's reflected in the accent today. Now, one of its great distinctive features is that it's quite nasal. It sounds like it's coming from the nose. Now, there are many suggestions for why this is. One theory is that in the mid-19th century, when the accent was being formed, it was a very polluted area and people had colds, and this affected your adenoids. They're the gland in the roof of your mouth that connect your nose and your throat. Now, the adults would have these blockages and they'd sound quite nasally, and the children would imitate their parents and also have that same sound. Now, that's how we learn language, right? Like, children imitate adults, that's how we learn. And so this kind of continued the sound down the generations until today. Now, accents come in different shapes and sizes, don't they? And you can have a very strong accent or you can have quite a weak accent. Now, we're going to look at the strength of Sir Paul McCartney's accent. Does he sound like a true Scouser, or has his accent changed over the years? So I've taken bits out of this interview. We're going to analyse them, look at the sounds that he's making, and learn a bit of English.
Hey, man.
Hey, James, yeah, man.
Oh, thank you so much for this.
All right, straight away. Hey, James, yeah, man. It could be an American getting into the car. Yeah, man. Clearly, Sir Paul McCartney has travelled around the world, spent a lot of time in America. He used to have an American wife. Understandably, he has adopted or absorbed some American in his accent. So, yeah, man. Okay.
Hey, man.
Hey, James, yeah, man.
Oh, thank you so much.
I can't come up here without showing people round.
There's the first sentence, and you can see how soft his accent is. Can't there, he says in almost like received pronunciation, can't. If it was a stronger Scouse accent, it'd be can't. It would be a wider ah, but actually he says it with an R, can't. Now, the come and up there, he does have more of a Scouse accent there with cum and up. So it's more that sound rather than ah. So it's instead of ah on the up. But it's very subtle and it's very light. And then at the end there you've got interesting intonation with round, kind of goes up, almost does a little dance, the intonation. And that's maybe a feature of Paul McCartney, is he does have some of the intonation of a Scouse accent, that kind of up at the end there.
I can't come up here without showing people round.
Do you mind if we listen to some music?
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay, this sentence definitely shows us his Scouse accent is still there, especially with the word love. Love. I would say love, like in my accent, love, but here, love. Love, that sound there. Love, I'd love to.
Oh, I'd love to.
Should we sing?
Go, baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Whoa!
Here we go with the first time they're singing, and there's definitely an American accent here. Drive becomes drive my car. Baby, you can drive my car. I apologise for my singing, terrible. But we've definitely gone American here. And again, I think that's normal, right? When British people are singing, we do tend to slip into an American accent just because that's a lot of the music that we listen to. Now, that isn't always true with Sir Paul McCartney. He definitely does sing in a more British accent, but on this occasion, it sounded quite American to me.
Yeah, I would.
There is a barber showing photographs.
There is a barber showing photographs. Photographs. Listen to the way they say that. Photographs. It's almost... yeah, definitely received pronunciation. Very kind of BBC English, if you will. Definitely different from how he was singing Baby You Could Drive My Car. The accent now has become much more anchored in Britain.
Should we come in your shop, love?
Here they get out of the car and they go and speak to one of the local people. And suddenly, Sir Paul McCartney sounds completely Scouse. Can we come in your shop, love? Like the intonation has changed. He's using the word love, which is like a term of endearment that you use maybe for a shopkeeper or something like that, or for someone that you know. The intonation has changed and he's suddenly using vocabulary that's much more local. Would he have used that sentence if he was walking into a shop in LA? I doubt it.
Shall we come in your shop, love?
That's completely normal, right? We change the vocabulary, we change the accent depending on where we are. Interesting.
That's maybe one of the strange things. We expected it to last 10 years, but it keeps going on and on and on.
Okay, you've got the word last here. So instead of last, last. Instead of fast, fast. So there's sort of the ah.
Things we expected it to last. The power of music, it's weird, isn't it? How that can do that to you.
Here the Scouse accent comes out again. That, dropping that to that. He kind of takes that T off the end of that. That's definitely a feature of the Scouse accents. They often drop the T or the D off the end of a word. So yeah, like that would be that, or dad would be da. So he does that on the first that. And using y instead of you, that's a feature for sure. To ya, not to you, to ya. The intonation as well, do that to ya, kind of going up at the end. Again, very Scouse intonation, kind of flicks up at the end there.
How that can do that to you. I've never been in since I lived there.
Ah, okay, another strong feature here. The last word there, the. He says the. That's the sound. It's soft, but it's there. Or the, as he would say, the. So that air sound, air. Instead of care, it'd be care. Or instead of where, it'd be where. So there.
I've never been in since I lived there.
As I say, in Sir Paul McCartney's accent, it's soft, but it is still there.
Hello, is Paul McCartney in? James?
Is it okay if we have a look around?
Hiya, sweetheart.
Here he goes again. Hiya, sweetheart. Hiya, sweetheart. Hiya, like, again, really informal way to say hi. And then sweetheart, another term of endearment for someone. So yeah, when he's speaking to the local people, he really drops into that local informal language.
Hiya, sweetheart. Hello. So this is where my dad used to do the laundry.
Okay, feature here, midad. We looked at this with Adele. In some accents, it's not my, it's me. Midad or minan, migran. This could come from Irish, the Irish immigration coming into Liverpool. Could be a feature that's a legacy of that. But he uses it quite a lot in this interview, like midad, mi guitar, migran, whatever it might be. But other words in this sentence sound like received pronunciation. For example, do the laundry. He says pretty much as you would in received pronunciations. So there's evidence here that he still has his Scouse accent, but also elements of received pronunciation and of course American coming into it as well.
So this is where my dad used to do the laundry. So yeah, okay, we go, loves you, yeah. Loves you, yeah. And he listened to the whole song and he said, that's very nice. He said, but son, he said, there's enough of these Americanisms around. Couldn't you sing She Loves You, yes. Who knows what
She loves you, yes, she does.
I love this bit where they go from the American, like she loves you, yeah, to she loves you, yes, she does. A little example there of the difference between American English and British English. We sound slightly more formal and a little silly, to be honest, if you put it into a song like that. She loves you, yes. Doesn't quite sound so good.
There's the bog, which was the acoustic chamber.
Wow, that could not be more sort of slang British English than the bog. The bog means the toilet. I haven't used that word since I was like 12. It's quite an old-fashioned term for the toilet. Not particularly polite, but anyway, it's just a word. But yeah, look how when he's back home in Liverpool, he's using these kinds of words. The bog.
There's the bog. My dad's so sweet, you know, any fans came to the door, come in, love, you know, want a cup of tea?
I love this bit. This is brilliant because this is Paul McCartney showing his awareness of what a strong Scouse accent is. Come in, love. Do you want a cup of tea? That intonation, come in, love. The word love, a word used commonly in the north of England and particularly in Liverpool. Come in, love, do you want a cup of tea? Sorry, my accent is bad, I know, it's not a very good Scouse accent, but I'm just trying to show you the difference. And his transition between his accent, the very soft Scouse accent, or yeah, almost RP accent, and what his dad had, which was a strong Scouse accent.
Come in, love, you know, want a cup of tea? Because we're trying to sort of,
Course.
you know, not do that.
Yeah.
I like this bit here, not do that. We talked about that earlier. The T at the end of a word just gets dropped off, gets cut off. He does it perfectly just there, not do that.
Because we're trying to sort of,
Course.
you know, not do that.
Yeah.
All right, so to conclude, Paul McCartney has a very distinctive voice. I mean, it's a voice that I've listened to for years, all my childhood. So you get used to it and you kind of just accept it for what it is. And then when you analyze it like this, you actually think, well, you know, it's not very strong. It was never particularly strong. I've watched old interviews with him as a young man, and it's the same thing. He speaks slightly differently, but the accent it's not a strong Scouse accent. But what I like is he still has features of it. So even though he's traveled the world, he's lived in America, he lives in London, and he's taken aspects of those accents and put them into his own accent, he still retains some features of a Scouse accent. So that, or the intonation, or using some of the vocabulary like love and sweetheart and all that kind of stuff. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you have. Give it a big thumbs up and tell me, who should I do next? Which famous person would you like me to look at their accent next? It could be any British person that you want. Alright guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Remember to join my YouTube membership where you get live Q&A videos with me, extra content, and you can ask me any questions you want in English. Hit that join button if you're interested. Join me over on Instagram as well. Until next time, this is Tom, the Chief Dreamer, saying goodbye.